Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I know so many of you over on TikTok have been blowing up the comments asking for this. So today, we're finally doing some customer reviews analysis for it. But before we dive into that, be sure to check out this exclusive discount available for it. You'll find it in the description and in the first comment under this video. Now, let's not waste any more time and jump right into the details. So this generator arrived exactly when they said it would, and I'll just tell you straight up, I've been weighing it against a full house solution for a long time. This one is huge, at about 400 pounds, and it sits on a pallet that doubles as a platform for the wheels and feet. I ended up mounting it on a small trailer because the wheels on rough ground are a little sketchy, and honestly, the heft makes moving it without help a pain anyway. It does not come with oil, so you're looking at a quick trip to the parts store or your own stash before you fire it up. First fire up was surprisingly straightforward. I flipped it, bolted on the handles, connected a battery, and with no fuss it started after a single push of the button. The break-in guidance says 6 to 8 hours at under 50% load, and I stuck to that with a light load to start. I did run about 2.5 hours, then did an oil change because the break-in metal was right where you'd expect it to be. The oil fill is oddly tucked behind a panel, so I used a funnel and a bit of wiggling to get it in. I eventually settled on 10W30 non-synthetic for the break-in, then moved to synthetic later on. The oil capacity is 47.5 ounces. No, the spec says 57.5 ounces, which is about 1.79 quarts. In case you're wondering about timing your fill, this is a true tri-fuel setup, so I started with gasoline and later switched to propane. On propane, we're looking at roughly 8.5 hours at 50% load on a 60-pound bottle, which is what I used. Gasoline runs longer, roughly 12 hours at 50% on a 13.2-gallon tank, so you get a lot of flexibility if you're trying to keep things simple during a storm. One caution I picked up: if you're using propane, make sure your bottle is at least 60 pounds and that the regulator isn't frozen in cold weather. That's a real thing, and I'm planning a bit of heat tape to head that off next winter. The unit has a 50-amp RV-style outlet, which is a real boss feature for running an air conditioner at the same time as the furnace and a fridge. It also ships with 3 different plug-ins, so you can tailor cables to your setup. The included remote start. It's not very practical in practice, because you end up resetting breakers on the unit each time you start or stop. It's easier just to wire up through your panel, something I did by creating a cord with 2 male ends that energizes the house from an RV box when needed. One thing to know: the idle control needs a precise adjustment, and if it isn't set correctly, you can have the unit drift or shut off. I fixed a bent actuator and then adjusted the screw, so it's not a plug-and-play thing for everyone. Grounding is required unless you're tied to a grounded structure, and the altitude note matters if you're above 3,000 feet. Dealer adjustments are necessary if you need to move through that change. All told, this is a sturdy, well-built machine that handles most home loads without pretending to be a whole house generator. It's not light or cheap, but the payoff is a flexible, more affordable option that can run on gasoline, propane, or natural gas. With some planning, if you're looking for a solid compromise and you don't mind a bit of setup and heavy lifting, this generator is worth a close look.